Let me get you some.
Whoop, whoop, whoop. Welcome, guys, to Saber Talk Sunday. Mundo's your host. And Charlie, I hope you have a great workout while listening, man. I know it's right on the money. And, I had such a great weekend so far. I mean, I didn't get to go hunting or anything, but I went to a cousin's birthday party in San Antonio. And man, I just met some lovely people. The gentleman's name is Shane. He was there with his girlfriends for her birthday, and so Shane, if you're listening, if you're watching tonight, man, it was such an honor to meet you guys. I mean, you were such lovely people, man, and and so we got to talking about different things and everything like that. Hey, and then what's up, dude? I'm glad you're here, man. How's your weekend so far? Did you have a great weekend so far? I hope so, man. I have a pretty decent, good one, man. Last night, like I was saying, last night I had a great time at a cousin's birthday party, dude, and I met these lovely people who are Star Wars fans too, and it's pretty cool, man. They were such lovely people, and uh, we got to talking and stuff, and they actually subscribed to the channel, dude. So I can't thank them enough too. So that was a lot of fun, a lot of fun. And tonight I want to talk about buttons and getting started. A lot of times, let me tell you, and this is for the newbies that come in. All the seasoned vets, they already know what's up. So this is for the new people that really come into the hobby. And another reason why I do the channel is, just if you have some questions or whatever, and you know, hell yeah, we got a kitten for our son, and he's totally in love with her. Cool, man. Cool. So to explain to all the newbies out there that the purpose of the show is to invite and encourage you guys to come on in, and especially if you have questions or whatever have you will, and I will answer them to the best of my knowledge. Also, we're here to have fun, talk Star Wars. People who come in, maybe they don't have the avenue uh, to talk about Star Wars all the time, like their significant other or otherwise, family members. They try to talk to them, but they just can't because they don't want to hear it. And that's where I come in, on a Sunday. You have time. Come on, come on in. We're gonna sit at the table and we're gonna talk about all this great stuff, man. That way you get your fix out of it, as well as I get mine. Because that's what it is. It's all fun and everything else in between. Now, with that out of the way, right? Tonight, if you're just getting started, okay, and this is for the absolute beginners who don't know what they want to do, where to start, where to go, how to do things, anything like that. Okay, that's why in the comment deals I put in there, from the beginnings, right, and buttons, and because we're gonna talk about different types of buttons and different types of setup for buttons, whatever have you will, and anything else in between. Okay, but I wanted to start from the very beginning for those of you who are, what do I do? How do I get started with this? I mean, I think about buying one. Should I not buy one? Should I make my own? How much is it going to cost me? What is it going to do this? What is it going to do that? What are your needs? Well, the first thing you should ask yourself when you're getting into this, and the first thing that you want to ask yourself is it going to be a personal preference of something? Okay. Do you want to be go with what everybody has? Do you want a show saber? Do you want a shelf queen, which basically does nothing but sit on your shelf and look pretty, right? Do you want a battle saber that you can go and whack shit with? I mean, do you want a saber that has sound, no sound? What what are your needs within this saber that you want to do? Okay, you got to answer these questions for yourself when you first start in it, and then go from there. So once you find out, okay, I want a NeoPixel lightsaber, or I want one that I can just beat the shit out of and not worry about, breaking it and everything else like that. So again, research comes into doing all of your homework to get to the questions that really are your personal preference in a saber. And there is some great content out there. So if you're like me and you utilize videos to learn stuff, okay? Um, I am dyslexic. I have a hard time reading certain things for long periods of time. And if you're like me and you are more visual than you are reading and everything else, then go ahead. Utilize these videos. And I can tell you two of the greatest videos out there. Um, one from Lando Sabers and one from Nerf Herder Benji. They both explain what it takes to the good companies and the bad companies to look at. They explain how much, like what you're needing to do as far as price wise of parts, where to go for parts, files, how to do your files, and everything like that. Even the Custom Saber shop has tutorials on getting started on making blades, parts that they offer. They also have, like, Rob Petkow is a great reference. For he does videos for the Custom Saber Shop, and he teaches up how to wire buttons, how to wire certain things in your sabers. He also teaches how to drill holes and make accurate holes for when you're putting stuff in on your saber. If you're let's say you're drilling your retention screw hole, right? You're drilling your retention screw hole. He teaches you how to do that. So if you are interested in learning those type of things, then I recommend you taking the time and watching these videos and learning from them well. Before I made my very first blade, Before I made my very first blade, I must have watched Rob Petkow's videos hundreds of times. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I sat there and rewind it, and oh yeah, and then I mean, right? You've learned so much from his videos. And that's the thing, that if you're a visual person like I am, you want to be able to utilize these videos to learn from. And there's such a great amount of videos too. Learning to upload your the fonts that you buy for your Saber, no matter what board that you're using. Um, there is tons of videos out there to learn from on putting your fonts on your Saber, right? And be wary. I mean, some of these videos also may have a few shortcuts, so you do want to make sure that you do check out some videos that really are reputable and don't cut corners. Another great person to learn from is uh oh my gosh, uh Artisan. Okay, um, the eccentric Artisan. He is a great teacher. He really goes in depth on how to make a blade. He really does a great job of showing um, how to do a saber from top to bottom. Uh, So I highly recommend his videos. And excuse me, he doesn't do just saber videos. He does all kinds of different videos. And oh man, let me see here. He does. Sorry guys, I dropped a screw in in some. Just a second here. Hold on. I gotta clean that screw off before it gets real bad. Uh, I dropped it off in some acid flux. And I don't want it to get all. Yeah, there we go. Okay, yeah, it's all clean now. Good. Um. So anyhow, going back and the eccentric artist, he's a great teacher of stuff. I mean, he shows you how to do different things, not just saber stuff, but so if you're interested in other things, he's a great resource to utilize. And let me see. Tonight, also, I do plan on painting up a little bit of the chassis with some antique copper right here. And we're going to see how that turns out. So we're not going to just talk about the buttons. We're going to talk about different things. But again, we're going back to saber stuff, right? Simply because you know, the amount of time that I can spend on buttons is pretty short. So, like I said, it's a personal preference on what you want to utilize, how you utilize your buttons, right? And whether they light up, like this button here will light up. If I put power to it, the button's going to light up. But I need a significant source for the light, the LEDs, because I do have the resistor on there, right? So, and this is a 16. Okay, you have 12, you have 16, and there's different sizes of buttons, right? And then you also have your your micro buttons that you can utilize as well. Let me see if I could put one right here. There you go. And let's see. These are the micro tacks right here. I don't I don't know if you guys can hear that little clicking sound. And sometimes these are a little pain in the ass too, though, when you utilize those. They do come in various sizes as far as the nipples go on here in terms of how long they are. So you do need to make sure that when you're utilizing those, that you don't get the wrong size. Okay, because when you're looking for these and you find some, you want to make sure that your measurements on the nipple size right here are going to be either short or long or in between, and the size that you use. So let me see. Okay, for instance, let me show you. I've got the micro tacks right here on this button setup, right? And as you can see, oh man, let me see. Let me see if I can get it to. Uh, come on. Woo. There we go. Okay. So you can see they're very, very short right there, right on the buttons. They're not as tall as this one would be. And I tried utilizing this one simply because I thought it was going to work out. And when I put it in here in the chassis, when I put it in here in the chassis, and I'm going to show you guys, I'm gonna run these wires right up in here. And of course I'm gonna have to take them out in a little bit too, but just so you guys can see, right? Now, utilizing the buttons this way, okay? They're sitting right up. Oh, it slipped out. My apologies, guys. But it's sitting right up in there, right? Now, if I had gotten the longer one, The longer button, sorry, let me see. It don't want to cooperate with me right now. My hands are, eh, okay. So the longer one right here, when I put the chassis into the saber, and of course it's up there. I'm not gonna grab it right now. But when I put the chassis in there and I'm sliding the body over, this little groove right in here has to make sure that it clears inside the back in the body. Now, also, if the buttons were a little bit longer, it would have interfered with trying to get the body in here because they would be too long. I wouldn't be able to screw in the body all the way to the emitter. So that way, in utilizing the shorter buttons, right? Now I still have to figure out how I'm going to utilize something to push them down once I get the body on there and everything else on top. Okay. So probably what I'll do is utilize maybe a little spring system and some real small micro magnets, right? So two of the magnets will go on the buttons here, and then at the end of the stem with the spring added to it, right? Then it'll be able to, when I push the button, it'll be able to push these buttons down in here, and that should be able to work. So it's kind of like, I know this is a little big, but if you can imagine the spring like this, like super small, probably one from a pen or something, and just do something to that effect, right? So there's all kinds of ideas that you can utilize to achieve getting your buttons activated, and of course, like I said, depending on the size also of your buttons, whether you utilize. Now, like I said, this was a 16 millimeter, right? LED. So if I, when I put power to it, you'll see the ring on here, and I believe I think it's green. So when I put power to it and I turn it on, it's gonna have a green ring around it. Okay. And then you have, and I'm gonna show you. This is the Warlock that I you know wired up from TCSS, and I'm going to show you because I'm gonna turn it on here real quick so you can see the buttons that light up. So these are 12 millimeter buttons that have LEDs on the inside of them, and they can actually light up. Let me grab the battery here, and okay, there we go. We got light up, and we got ignition. Oh! I better put the, you know, I better put the back on before the battery decides to pop out. Plus, you can actually hear it. Now, I'm sporting the Golden Harvest board on here, and that's another thing. You want to make sure that when you're purchasing a board, you want it to do everything you want it to do. Uh, oh, thanks, NN. Yeah. So the buttons are like that, and these are from TCSS as well, right? Auxiliary. Then I got the power button right here. Just let it go. And I think I've got the twist action on here. Nope. Let me see. Okay. I think on this font I probably didn't do that. So, all right. Yeah, see, I mean it almost mirrors the blade. So that's another thing that when you're searching for your buttons, what you want your buttons to do. Okay? Let me see. I think I'm gonna do a different font on here right now. Let's see. One, two, three. One, two, three. One, two, three.
Sound menu. Dark Harvest. The Shadow. Event. Eternal Prince. Son of Gods.
So what do you choose?
Cryocarbon. Guardian!
Lighted buttons or no lighted buttons? It's all a personal preference, right?
Balance. Knighthood. The classic villain. Dark Harvest. The Shadow.
Yeah.
Event. Eternal Prince. Son of Gods.
Okay, so I think this particular board that SD card that I've got on here is nothing but stock fonts, right?
Cryocarbon. Guardian! Data issues. Complete. Knighthood.
Okay, yeah.
The classic villain. Dark Harvest. The Shadow. Event. Eternal Prince.
All right, we'll just go with that one. Really not a fan of this one. Yeah, I mean it's okay, but voltage critical. Oh well. All right. So it's done. Let's see. It shouldn't be because I've charged it, but maybe because it's been a few days already. So all right. So let's go ahead and shut this one down now and get the battery out of there so I don't really waste it 100%. I can get ready to charge it. But again, you see the LEDs inside the buttons, they're lighted up. They're lighted up, excuse me. Woo. I can't even talk today. Jesus. Um, excuse the ums. My brain is just running a little bit slow today. um, there's another one right there, right? So in like I said, when you're searching for buttons, depending on what you want, when you there's a crap load of them out there, man. I mean, depending on what you want to do, what you want your saber to do, you're going to achieve almost everything with any button that you choose. Okay, whether it be a 12 millimeter like those, whether it be a 16 millimeter like this, whether it be tech switches like this, and whether you have a different setup. KR Sabers has their setups. Uh, and I'll tell you, I've got man, dude. Sorry, I was working on Roy Boy 2.0, and I'm gonna show you. So you see the LEDs under there and all that good stuff, right? And I'm gonna man, okay, I'm just gonna push it down and get it kind of sit in there. I still have to kind of work on this again because the chassis came a bit loose and I'm not happy with it at the moment because it's too loose in my book. So let me see here. Come on. And that's the thing. With my custom clamp card right here, I really did do a pressure fit on it, so it works really well. Let me get the okay. So oop, no card. Go figure. Let's see. I'm gonna just get the card out of here, and that way I can kind of show you also because I have the LEDs in that saber. Hey, what's up, JT? Tactile will always be a personal preference button, huh? You don't like the light up AVs. Dude, I I only like them for certain hilts. But yeah, man, I'm getting to the point too where it's kind of like um they're dime a dozen, and you only just I think for certain things they're good to have certain designs, and other designs I think no, you know, um but I like the way you think, dude, because AVs are a dime a dozen, and I think that again they're a personal preference, right? But depending on what kind of saber you have and everything else on top of that, you really are showcasing the buttons at certain times, and I think you lose the showcasing of the saber itself at some point, right? Being at the beginning with Saber Forge and Ultra Sabers, the illuminated switch was so common. I'm just sick of. I don't blame you, dude. I don't blame you. Okay. Uh-oh. What's going on here? Not good. What is going on? That should not be happening. Okay. Something is going on here. Mm-mm-mm. So you see, all right. Something is really going on. Let me see here. Hey, see, things happen, man. That's another thing. When I'm telling you in the beginning, when you're starting out and you're doing sabers, and let's say you decide to wire them up yourself, expect some problems. I mean, take it slow, figure things out, what's going on. Don't don't get discouraged. In other words, if it doesn't work right, don't get discouraged. Just try to figure the problem out. And if there's a point where you can't figure it out, there's immense amount of people out there willing to help. Let's see here. Jesus. Is it my button? Yeah. See? There we go. I might have to replace that speaker though. But as you can see, I got it working. And let's just kind of put the LEDs back in here. Now, LEDs are lighting up, but you can see the buttons, right? I don't want to blind people here. Let's see if I can come around. Like I said, the chassis is a little bit loose, so I'm not going to swing it around too hard. I'm mainly showcasing the buttons because you see how big the tack the tack buttons are. I'm going to turn it around real slowly here because it's already going to come up above until I get it really fixed up and everything. But if I can turn it. I'm trying to show this enough where I'm not blinding everybody, right? All right. Enough of that one. All right, there we go. Titan, what's up, dude? You ain't late to the party. You're never late, man. Nobody's ever late. Shit, it's still early. I'm only 30 minutes into the show, dude. I love it when you're here, man. I love it when everybody's here. I cannot thank all of you guys enough for being here, dude. Really. I mean, it's such an honor to have you guys with me on Sunday nights. It really is. I mean, you guys make this show worthwhile doing. So, I do this for you guys. I do it for the fun of it. I love it. And I hope that, the newbies that will come in and chime in and talk and say what's on their mind, what kind of, what kind of questions they have on their mind. Um, like we're sitting at a table and you've got questions for me. Come on in and let's talk about the Star Wars stuff. Let's talk about lightsabers. Let's talk about what you want in your saber that you're thinking of, right? That's why we're here. I mean, you sit at the table across from me, you have a drink, and let's talk sabers, whatever it is. And we're gonna have fun doing it too, man. I mean, I unfortunately I can't put no music to this crap, but hey, it is what it is, right? Maybe one day, well, maybe one day I'll get some badass music, and I'll be able to utilize the music and um speaking of the new intro that you guys see right now, that was provided to me by Mountain Sabers. And James is just like, dude, that is freaking awesome. I really love that new intro. And and the intro that I had before, I love it too because Anthony made that. And what I'm hoping for is I emailed the artist to see that if I can get permission to use that music, and I'm still waiting on a response. And once I get that music, if I can get the permission to use that music, so we'll see James's intro at the beginning and Anthony's intro on my outro. So and then every once in a while I'll kind of flip flop back and forth, right? I'll do both intros and outros like that, back and forth, back and forth. So it'll be a little fun to just kind of keep going back and forth with it once I find if I have permission or not. I'm hoping I will. So I haven't heard anything for almost a month now. So I re-emailed the company or the what is it? The management company for the singer. So we'll see what happens, right? Also tonight, while we're still talking about beginnings and stuff like that, and I've already mentioned several people that you could go and visit their videos to learn from. Um, all kinds of tutorials on getting started with blades, getting started, and even Anthony has tutorials on making his blades, and you can learn from Anthony at Civilized Sabers for your blade needs, right? He gives you everything that you need to get started, or in terms of the uh, the PCBs or where to go and get your LEDs from, all of that good stuff, right? And he used the top, cream of the crop stuff from Adafruit for his LEDs. So, in case you're wondering why Civilized Sabers blades are kind of high priced, not only is it intensive labor sometimes for making the blade, but the cost of the LEDs themselves, the amount of LEDs that they put into the blades, uh, lighting tactiles are nice. I would kind of agree, Jim. Lighting tactile, yeah. I mean, but again, everybody goes to personal preference, and that's what it's all about. And you have to respect personal preferences from everybody because without simple design preferences, we couldn't if everybody copied the same old hilt, the same kind of saber. I think it'd be kind of boring, right? There'd be no differences in anything. And you're like, ooh, okay, okay, I'll get that one. That looks nice. Yeah. That one's the same. That one's the same. Okay. That one's different. Yeah, wait a minute here. That one's got a little different style to it. Yeah. So, I think if there wasn't, the differences in subtleties, the differences in hilt designs, the differences in button designs as well, right? The SNV4 and G4 are just awesome entry boards. Yes. Now I have not got the GH4 yet. I'm hoping I'll get one for Christmas. I put it on my Christmas list for the girls, my daughters or my wife to get. So we'll see if I get one. But I do need to work on some of the ones that I already have and get those going, man. I've been putting off too many things. Because if you remember last show, I was kind of playing around with the rub and buff, right? So tell me, what do you guys think of this? Huh? With the rub and buff. I haven't completed this yet, but it's just like getting started with it. But not too bad, not too shabby, right? I think I go for another layer and then smooth it out a little bit, but not too bad. Not too bad. I don't know if I can make it any shinier, but I'm gonna try. And believe it or not, what I was gonna say, oh my goodness, my brain just shut down for a few seconds here. Albert, man, he printed this out for me for this though, you know, when I was first starting out. This little puppy fit in right there. As a matter of fact, I could still slip it in. And look at that. Fits like a glove. Fits like a glove. Man. And believe it or not, I actually put, here's the funny thing, right? This was meant for a CFX. I think it was CFX. Or at the time that I got it, it was for maybe let me see. Hold on. Was it for my. And again, absent-minded professor over here decides to put things where he can't find them. That's the ongoing joke I have, right? The absent-minded professor here was shoot, and I did not put it there. Where did I put it? And I was working on it earlier. Oh, okay. So the Prism 5.1, right? I was working on a Prism 5.1, and I was thinking, is the Prism going to fit in there? And I think first of all, it was supposed to be for a CFX, right? Um, it was for a CFX, and so it's funny because both the CFX and the Prism both fit in it. And that's kind of cool. I kind of like. That was like a happy accident, right? So I'm gonna have to twist these a little bit here so that I can run uh, so I can run these wires through there and see. Now, come on now. See, everything changes once you wire things up. It's crazy, right? You have everything set in motion, and all your happy accidents go away once you actually start wiring stuff up. Too funny. All right. So actually, that didn't work. I thought, oh, I know why. Because it worked on here and not on this one. Oh, let's see if I wonder, and let's see if we can get. And it is too small. Wow. I was thinking, nope, ain't gonna work. Okay, so the CFX is the one that fits here mostly, right? And it fits pretty damn good. Now, once you wire certain things up and everything like that, it gets a little bit harder to just stay in there, but nonetheless, it is what it is. So I'm actually trying to get this box worked up where I can put um, the Prism 5.1 and turn this box into a tester box. That's one of the things that when you're starting out too, you want to grab yourself a few things to test things with, right? See this little booger right here? This is one of the battery parts for the, I think it was a Vader, my '03 Vader, right? And of course, it had four or five of these in there in the chassis part of it, and I took it apart. But what I ended up liking was that it had the two deals right here. So what I could do was utilizing certain things to test, like lights and stuff. And I don't know if I'd be able. If well, yeah, no, this light wouldn't be able to. But I could test different LEDs and lights a certain way with these, right? You just stick the batteries in here and go to town on checking, your power needs and everything. Um, I would try it on a board, but I don't have the leads to stick out and do it like that right this minute. Um, Again, utilizing something like this, right, to go ahead and put a battery in there, and then using these wires. Let's see. Using the tips of the wires like this to test things, your powers, and stuff like that. So you can come up with some creative ways to test your stuff, to test your batteries, test anything that you want. Test your buttons if they light up. Make sure that you have adequate power. I believe this one is probably going to need the 9-volt battery too. test. I don't think I have a 9-volt battery with me in here. And I don't have a 9-volt battery. I think I'm gonna start crying. You know, one of these days I'm gonna have to get my damn self organized. Not. I know where everything is. It's just not with me at the moment. um. Anywho, so what do you say, guys? Let's put a little bit of copper paint on the chassis that I've been working on, and we're gonna do a little bit of that painting right here today. Um. I have, and remember, I told you guys you were coming on the journey with me of getting this thing ready for the balance, the saber, the balance. So let me go ahead and I'm going to grab, there it is. I've got my palette, get my bottle of water over here, and let's see here. I'll grab a little bit of water and put it in one of these little palette deals, just like that. And then I'm going to shake this copper paint up a little bit. Let me get all, actually, before I do any of that, let me get all of these boards out of the way because I am not going to get them all screwed up if I have a flinch or something and a little bit of water goes into screwing these things up. So no, thank you. All right, that's there. Let's put this in there. And it's I know, right, right. And then I'm super excited too, man. I mean, like I'm actually kind of nervous right now on putting a little paint to it because I don't know if I've done enough sanding. I mean, I've done a shit ton of sanding on it, but I don't know if it'd be enough, right? And but we're gonna find out together, dude. We are going to find out together. So I got my painting kit. I got painting, and I've already started with the gold parting right here. All of the little lines right here are gonna be the antique gold with the rub and buff. But I want to get started with the copper that's gonna go around it. So let's get into the copper painting here and see how that's gonna turn out. So bear with me, guys, and see how this is gonna turn out here. Looks interesting already, just that one line, but I might have to do like 2 or 3 coats and see how that's going to turn out, right? Wow, that is crazy that it's soaking it up. I don't know, can you guys see that? You guys see that right there? I want it to look wiry. You know what I mean? Not watery, but wiry. In terms of stripped copper wire just running through it. That's kind of the goal here with the painting process on you utilizing the antique copper. And like I said, I might have to go and do like 2 or 3 coats because it looks like, man, the chassis just soaking this stuff up, man. And yeah, I mean, not too shabby. I mean, if you angle it and the light hits it just right, I mean, it's a little shiny, right? I'm gonna put like like Tom Tillman says, I'm gonna put my old man eyes on here and see if I can get that little bit of closer look to it. Oh my God, I can't even see it now. Yeah, right. Oh. Wow. I mean, this is a big difference here. You know, you can really see it on the camera, right? And with these, I can just barely see it. I mean, just barely see it. And also, you know, when you guys are sanding your chassis and you wanting to make like a metal look to it, um, there's quite a bit of work involved in there. I mean, it's not just, you know, an overnight thing. I mean, for the seasoned vets, I mean, it's an overnight thing for them because they've got that muscle memory that they can do it quite a bit, right? They can do it quick, fast, in a hurry. And you know, yeah, man, wow, wow, dude. I mean, just two layers in a small area. Look at that. I mean, shoo wee, not bad, not bad. It's getting there, right? And I think we're gonna see how this is really gonna turn out when I get done with all of this painting. I mean, I got a long way to go here, but you guys are going on this journey with me, and I really do appreciate that, you know. Um, because not only will it be my victory, but it's going to be all of your victories as well because you have come along with me for the ride. I mean, I'm not by myself in this. I mean, you guys are here cheering me on, getting things. Sorry about that. I'm in the garage, so you know, not much that I can do about the vehicles coming around and starting up. Man, I got a neighbor that's got a Hemi. Man, I love Hemi trucks, but we're not here for trucks. We're here for sabers. So let's see here. Yeah, I think 2 layers might do pretty good. You know, 2 or 3 layers, and then we'll see how it fits in the chassis with that. And if I need to do a little bit sanding, sand it down, do another layer, sand it down, do another layer until I get the proper look that I'm going for, right? But again, like I said, that I am not in this alone. You guys are right next to me. I mean, you're here cheering me on, egging this as much as my baby it is yours, you know. And just I mean, also when I was talking about fillers and you know sending and adding fillers to your sanding and everything else, you know, and I text Benji from Nerf Herders, and Benji says, "Dude, I don't I don't put any fillers in there. It's just all straight sanding." And so do quite a few other people. They don't put any fillers into their sanding. They even even some of the others, man, they'll wet sand their chassis to the point where it's like glass. And I still have yet to try that to wet sand. So I think what I might do is after all of this dries up and everything and do a short wet sand on this top and then go for another layer and see what happens, right? And in doing so and see how that's going to turn out. and get in all of those nooks and crannies with the paints. And mind you that, like I said, no fillers, because when I was asking all these guys and Benji and everybody about utilizing fillers, but you know, gosh, who was it that told me that? Oh, um, Rob Sotomayor from Sorok Sabers. He utilizes what did I say? Oh my God, the liquid stuff. Liquid stuff. My brain can't do two things at once, try to paint and talk at the same time. I'm telling you. Yeah, it's getting there. It's getting there. It's getting there. I mean, let me get this out. I have my iPad here, and I was thinking I could try to get my iPad to do a second camera while I was doing this. And let me bring this light down just a slight bit, smidget. And what do you guys think so far? I think it's going to need a couple more coats on there, but nonetheless, I think, yeah, I think it's going to look pretty good, man. Pretty good. After this coat dries, I mean, when the light hits it, it looks good. Without the light, picture it a lot darker without the light. Okay. Um, I don't know if I can kind of get the a light away from where you can't see it too much, but yeah. Thanks, Titan. So we'll see how that turns out, man. I'm gonna go ahead and work on this second part right here underneath, and then that should be enough for tonight. I'm gonna let that kind of dry up, and we're gonna see how that's gonna turn out after that. And I've got enough paint on this little palette right here to keep a good amount on here and really bring into some character on it, right? And I want that, when you're painting something, if you're really, depending if you're going for the new look or the old look, and most of everything in Star Wars is dirty, grimy, and everything, right? That was my reasoning for utilizing the antique copper and the antique gold, so to speak, because the dullness of everything really should bring the character out of the chassis, right? Now, again, the camera really puts a lot of shine to it, but when I'm painting it right here, and there's not a lot of light to it. It's really a dingy copper. You ever open up a computer or laptop and broke it up and, like a really old, dusty, dirty computer laptop, and you look at the motherboards and you see some of those copper pieces that are just like shot to hell, right? And that's what I kind of get a sense with this color on here. And so let's see here. Kind of trying to blend it in here. And I realize that there's a few spots in here that need to be, cut in there on the edges. And I'll go back in there and through that after a little bit here, and just kind of run those edges there. Those edges are a little pain in the ass though to get to get sanded down too, especially when you don't have a fine tip to get in there and sand that part. So if anything kind of looks a little off, I do apologize because it's a little hard to get those really, really small crevices in there, especially if you don't have the right tools to kind of do it. But like I said, it is what it is, and we're gonna work on this, and we're gonna keep getting it until it comes all together. And I really can't wait to start wiring it up. I mean, I'm just like I'm really holding myself back a lot. But again, going back to the beginning, of this video when I was telling, the newbies and the beginning people to watch those videos just when you're getting started. And Rob Petkow always states that if you rush it, you wreck it, right? And that's always stuck in my head when I'm doing the sabers, and especially the chassis the sabers that mean the most to me, which is my dad's and my best friend's memory sabers, right? Now that doesn't mean that I'm not gonna put that much quality into other sabers, because every saber that I'm going to do, whether it be mine or for somebody else, right? Um, I'm gonna put 100% of my heart and soul into it. As a matter of fact, that party that I went to last night in San Antonio, my cousin's, he's already told me that he wants me to build him another one. Um, since I built him one with just the static shelf queen, now he wants one with sound and everything else. So I told him, okay, I'll come up with the design, a TCSS design. Yeah, I think it needs a 9 volt, Jim. The button, the LED button, this one, simply because I do have that the resistor on there. Otherwise, because when I tested it with just the two AA batteries, it didn't light up. So I think I need a stronger power source for it. I think the little 3 volts is not enough for it. Let's see here. We're getting there. We're getting there. Right now, I have that dang piece of commercial or that little clip that Anthony usually has when the saber's working and everything. It's working. It's working. My painting is working. My painting is working. All right. So look at that. I mean, not too bad, not too shabby. And let's see here. All right. So I want to get a little clean up this. And it really does look like a dingy. Oh, that's not my. Okay, here we go. It really does look like a dingy copper, man. With if you take it out of the light, right where you see it, you guys see it real shiny, right? But if I, there we go. See, if I bring it a little further back, you can tell it's got a dinge to it. That is what I was trying to achieve, is the dinginess of it. Now I could still see some of these lines in there, so I might have to go back and sand it a little bit. And I don't know if it's gonna mess up the paint. Um, when the paint dries, I'm gonna try to sand it again, and I'm gonna go back over it again, and then we'll see where that leads up. You know, without the lines, but at the same time, right? I mean, you can see the line still, but at the same time, it kind of looks wiry, right? Like all of these wires just got soldered together and squeezed together in one unit, right? But we shall see. I think I'm gonna try when it dries, I'll sand it down and I'll do another coat and see if we can get it really smoothed out without the lines and see if that works. And in the meantime, again, I'm gonna work on that rub and buff stuff as well, right? And then we'll get this part right here with the rub and buff going. See how that's gonna turn out. All right, guys. Well, man, it's been a hoot, and I'm so glad that you guys have hung out with me tonight. I hope I've had a little bit of entertainment. And again, I want to thank James for the intro, Mountain Sabers. Really appreciate it, man. Um, and I hope you guys are enjoying the new intro as well. I can't wait to get permission from that other singer for the other intro and get that as both an intro and outro and go back and forth between Mountain Sabers and the one that Anthony did because that's going to be a lot of fun utilizing both of those. Make sure that you guys like and subscribe to Civilized Sabers, which would be not possible for Saber Talk Sunday if it hadn't been for Civilized Sabers. Anthony, Space Window. We got to come. I need that little quote, Master Windu. I need to put that in there anytime I mention Civilized Sabers, right? Also, my channel at Mundo Cabrera 7007 on Instagram, right? I piggyback off the Civilized Sabers channel. So you can always like and subscribe there if you wish and have a lot of fun watching the videos. So if you missed anything on here on this channel, you can always go to my channel and watch it over there. And whatever channel, whatever shows that you can't find on here, you might be able to find over there. So keep an eye on that. There's times where maybe these shows on here get shut down, and for whatever reason, but they're still on mine. So if you've missed any shows from here and you don't see them on here, go to the Mundo channel and watch them over there because more than likely they're going to be over there. Um, Also, I mean, I just thank you guys so much. I hope you guys have a great week. Um, let's see, next Sunday. Hmm. We'll see if there's a show. I'll keep everybody posted, right? Oh man, no, thank you, dude. I so appreciate it, man. Like I said, without you guys, I wouldn't be here having this much fun. I sincerely have so much fun talking to you guys. It just makes me want to meet you guys face to face, you know, and have a real table and have us sitting at it. So. Well, with that, man, I'm gonna go ahead and brand out. You guys have a great holiday. If I don't get to see you guys have. Oh, let's see here. You guys have a great holiday. If I don't do wrong one. You guys have a great holiday. If I don't do a show after the holiday, and what is happening here? Let me see. Oh, there we go. All right. So next Sunday, gonna see if we're gonna do the show. I'll let you guys know if you see something up there, then more than likely it'll be on. And if not, it's just family time. Okay, guys? Mundo out.